Hello and welcome to another episode of MacStories Unwind. Today's episode is sponsored by none other than Sequel. I'm John Voorhees, and I've got Federico Vitici sitting in Rome to talk to. How you doing?
Hello, John. How are you?
It's good. I'm doing good. I'm glad I have someone to talk to, and I'm not just like talking to an empty room or something.
You could talk to ChatGPT if you wanted.
I could. That would be, yeah, I could do that. People do solo podcasts. I think a solo podcast would be kind of hard to do.
You've done them on occasion.
I did Unwind solo a few times. It's been a long
good.
time.
It was actually pretty good.
Oh, well, thank you. No, I've thought about it again. I think I'm at the point now where I could just like talk endlessly about anything. So I could probably do it. But I prefer having you here along with me.
Yeah. But in this case, we're talking about video games. We're continuing our series at the end of the year, picking our favorite media from 2025. And of course, it is the turn of gaming. Now, I think we are pretty much in the same boat where you and I, it's been difficult this year to allocate a lot of time to gaming.
Yes.
But what I have done is I sampled a lot. I played, it's been especially nice to sample and play for a few hours roguelikes. Those are the kinds of games that you can just pick up and play.
Yep.
But what I have done is I have set aside 2 games. So I did not fool myself into doing what I wanted to do last year. Be like, over my holiday break, I'm going to play 6 games. No, I'm just going to play 2 games. I'm going to finish Metroid Prime 4.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I'm going to pick up Clair Obscur Expedition 33 again. Which also completely won the Game Awards last night.
Yes, right, exactly. The Game Awards, which I watched maybe about 3/4 of it before I started falling asleep on the couch. But yeah, it was it really cleaned up. I think it won the most awards ever for the Game Awards, which is really impressive. And it's a fantastic game. We'll get into it a little bit more, but I'm in a minute. But I'm kind of in the same boat. Sampled a lot. I made the mistake, I think, last week of buying a bunch of games that I saw that have been on Steam sales and that were nominated for things that there's no human way I could do what you set out to do last holiday season.
No, which I didn't do. It's impossible.
It's impossible.
I think it's fine to sample a lot of indie games, and then those chunky big releases, you just set aside some time, over the weekend. It also doesn't help that we've been especially busy with the end of the year for MacStories, for the MacStories Selects Awards and also a bunch of updates to the website that we've been working on, some of which we have launched over the past few months, others that are almost done. And so, it just, from my perspective, it's 1 a.m. and I'm incredibly tired and I just don't have the energy in me to play Metroid Prime.
I am kind of the same way. But hey, you know what I did? Here's one of those games that I bought. I want to tell you, this is probably the most ambitious purchase I've made. I bought the complete edition of Witcher 3 for $10. Which is like 100+ hour game.
No, you're never gonna play that game.
I know, but I never played it in the first place. I thought, well, $10 and it's supposed to be really good.
It's a pretty good deal. It's a very good deal. I gotta say, yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's get to our picks instead of talking about what we didn't do.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. In my list of picks, so I made a list of games that I want to reconsider, and I made a list of games that I played this year that I really enjoyed, and I have a couple of games of the year, and I got to pick between these two. So in my list, which you can consider a backlog, I guess, I want to start there. Very long list. Ghost of Yotei. I think I'm going to play this one eventually when it comes out on PC, because I don't have a PlayStation 5 anymore. I sold it. So Ghost of Yotei, the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, I will play whenever it comes to PC in 2026, I guess. Hades 2. I played a bunch of Hades 2. I didn't finish Hades 2. I played like 10 hours of Hades 2. And I know that I want to go in there again and try and finish the story, because I played a good chunk, but just I set it aside because, other games came out. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This is one that I started a couple of weeks ago. It really captivated me, but this will have to wait until maybe January when things quiet down a little. This one I'm setting aside for the new year.
What's the pitch for that game? Because I haven't really looked at it at all, and I'm wondering whether this is a game for me. What kind of game is this?
Imagine Skyrim.
Yeah.
First person role-playing game set in medieval times, but more realistic. and with a stranger story.
Okay.
Yeah,
That sounds interesting.
yeah. Hollow Knight Silk Song, I mostly set it aside because it was too difficult and I was not in the right mind space at the time.
Yeah.
This is also one that I'm saving maybe for the spring of next year because
Okay.
I need some time. I played a bunch, but I couldn't get into it, and I'll try again at some point.
Yeah.
Despelote, this is an indie game, really fascinating art style and really fascinating narrative from what I can gather.
That was
This
published
one,
by Panic, right?
it's published by Panic. This one
Yeah.
I think I will try and knock out in a weekend when I have a weekend by myself.
Yeah,
maybe
that's a
because
more
that's a week. That's a
it's a
weekend
yeah,
game.
it's a more compact game. There's you know, you can get that done in a weekend.
And Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, the remaster. I've been waiting for this one forever. But then again, Pokemon Legends came out, and I wanted to play that. And
Right.
and you know, all a bunch of games came out in late September that I just didn't have the time for this one. I started it and I set it aside, and I'm gonna revisit it. It's not that it's a new game anyway. I finished Final Fantasy Tactics 20 years ago, so I
Right,
am gonna
right.
play it again, but not now.
Yeah, it won an award last night. I forget which one.
I know,
the
best
award
strategy
was.
game, obviously.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
What's in your backlog, John?
So my backlog includes Metroid Prime 4 because I have
Okay.
not even opened the app, the game yet. I mean, part of that is, as we said, we've been kind of busy, and I really wanted to. I wanted to be ready for this game, if that makes sense. I wanted to be like rested. I wanted to get it on my TV. I wanted to like really absorb everything about the opening sequences of that game. So I'm going to probably start that one this weekend. Hades 2 is on my list as well. I had this in early access and I played it quite a bit, fairly early when it was first available. And then I had that moment where I was like, do I really want to play way into this game when it's not finished? And so I put it aside and now it's fully out. So I'll revisit that one as well. Dispatch won some awards last night, and that's a game that really wasn't on my radar until the last couple of weeks, and it looks really good. It's by some of the former Telltale Games people.
Yeah.
It has kind of a similar kind of vibe and storytelling, and it's about superheroes. I thought that might be kind of fun. And then Ghost of Yote also for me, because I do still have a PlayStation, but I just felt like it came out at a time when there was so much else going on in the video game world that I decided to wait on that too. Two others I'll mention. I know you had this on your list, I think, too, was the Shinobi Art of
Yes.
Vengeance, which also kind of flew under my radar a little bit. I was aware of it, but I didn't really focus on it. And I was,
Yeah.
with the Game Awards coming up, I was looking at some trailers and I was really impressed with the kind of the 2D side-scrolling action kind of game. And then Unbeatable is a game that I started actually this week, which is a rhythm game that's available on Steam. It's a nice indie, smaller game that I think really fit the bill for like this week when I've been kind of busy. I thought, well, at least I can play this for, half an hour here, half an hour there. So I've been enjoying that one. I think I'll pick it up and play it some more over the holidays.
Okay. All right.
This episode of MacStories Unwind is brought to you by Sequel. If you're anything like me, you've probably got a bunch of movies you want to watch, shows you've been keeping up with, and a backlog of video games and books on your list, and it's all scattered everywhere. Sequel brings your whole entertainment universe into one beautiful app. Here's how it works. The app has unified search across everything. Just start typing and Sequel pulls the best results across movies, series, games, and books, and even audiobooks. You can search for actors, directors, and explore everything they've worked on too. And here's a really neat feature. It's called Magic Lookup, and it's a share extension. If you're scrolling through a website and someone mentions a movie or a game, just share the link to the article to Sequel, and it uses AI to identify the media titles on the page for you. There's no manual searching required. You can also set release reminders so you'll never miss a movie premiere, season drop, or game launch ever again. And, perfect for this episode, Sequel helps you tackle your gaming backlog. You can track what you want to play, what you own, and what you're playing right now. There's a time to beat feature which helps you pick the right game for the amount of time that you actually have. You can take markdown notes, which are available for all other media types too, and it lets you save walkthrough links, track your own quests, and create tappable checklists of things you want to come back and do later. Plus, the app also tells you platform availability, includes trailers, and has direct links to stores like Steam and the PlayStation Store. With any of Sequel's categories, you can also organize your media into collections, create ranked lists, themed lists, and even mix different media types together, like every Marvel title in one collection. Sequel syncs across the iPhone, iPad, and Mac, and it's available on the Vision Pro too. Sequel's core experience is completely free with unlimited searches and tracked items. Listeners can unlock everything with an optional Sequel Plus subscription. New subscribers can enjoy up to 30% off their first year of Sequel Plus using the code UNWIND. Just use the link in the show notes or go to getsequel.app/unwind today to learn more and get up to 30% off your first year of Sequel Plus. Sequel. Track now, enjoy later. Our thanks to Sequel for their support of the show.
Well, I am going to go through my list, and at the end, I will pick my game of the year.
Okay.
I will mention Clair Obscur. This, as I mentioned, was a game that I started months ago on Xbox, and just, obviously won a bunch of game awards, and I loved my time with it. Then I set it aside for the summer, and this week I decided, over my break, what are the games that I'm gonna play? And Metroid was gonna be one of them. But I also wanted to have something on PC, but I didn't want to use Xbox again. So I put together a little thing with Claude and Python to export my save file from Xbox and import it into Steam, which is not supported by default. But there's a little Python utility called XGP Save Extractor. And long story short, I was able to successfully migrate all of my hours that I put into Clair Obscur into Steam, and so now I can continue playing on Steam.
Where is the save file? Like, where do you access it?
I'll send you
on the web? Is
instructions.
it on the web?
No, it's on your computer, on your Windows computer.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. I love Clair Obscur. I mean, everybody does, right? It won all of the Game Awards. What an interesting story! What an interesting setup. Visually speaking, the fact that this team came out of nowhere, it's their first game, a debut AA, not even AAA game that sends, I think, a strong signal to the video games industry. A story that I have never seen before in a video game, like the idea that there's this entity that paints a number on a monolith, and that number represents the age up until everybody gets to live, and otherwise they essentially die and disintegrate. What an interesting setup. Mechanically, a tough game. Visually speaking, an amazingly beautiful game made by a French studio. The music is incredible. It sounded amazing last night at the Game Awards orchestra.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah,
it was amazing. I am gonna pick this up again. It's definitely, I mean, it's obviously one of the standout releases of 2025. I loved my time with Donkey Kong Bonanza. I did not finish Donkey Kong Bonanza. This is one of those games that, just like Mario Kart World, which is also in my list, it's easy to pick up and play whenever you have some time. It's an evergreen action platformer game. Looks fantastic on Switch too. I love the physics engine. I love the story. I love how it looks. It's fun. It's lightweight. You can just pick it up and destroy a bunch of things and discover some secrets. I think you can tell the lineage of the Mario Odyssey team into this game.
Sure. You sure can,
Yeah. Mario Kart World, I did finish all of the Grand Prix at 2 different CC speeds. I think I still gotta do the 150. I like it. It's Mario Kart. I didn't really like the open world part of it. I think it's kind of boring. But the Grand Prix and all the different characters and all the customizations for the vehicles, it's Mario Kart. It's fun, even if you don't play multiplayer, which I don't. But I think I'm gonna try over the Christmas break, since we're gonna have some family over. I think we're gonna play some Mario Kart. It's lovely, looks fantastic on Switch too, and the music is great.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Mario Kart World is one that I have played mostly solo, but when my kids have been home over Thanksgiving and then coming up during Christmas, I think we're going to be playing some more multiplayer. I like that game a lot. I appreciate, given with the business of the year, the ability to just find games that I can just pick up and put down
Yeah.
from time to time, and that's like all over my list. If
Yeah.
you can see. Do you have any others, Federico, or should I?
Yes. My top
Okay.
three. Megabonk.
Yes.
This is a
I still haven't
roguelike.
tried that yet.
It's imagine what if Vampire Survivors but 3D and you can
Yeah.
jump. It is, in my opinion, the best Vampire Survivors sort of clone that has come out since Vampire Survivors.
Mm-hmm.
It is so incredibly addictive and fun, and it gives you that sense of power when you have this swarm of enemies coming at you. But by virtue of being 3D and adding the jump element, it's different enough from Vampire Survivors to justify its existence. And it's it's fun, and it's kind of reminiscent of a PlayStation 1 era aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's a roguelite, so you can just play a run for 20 minutes and see where you can go. And I think it's one of the best. I liked it more than, say, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, which was another Vampire Survivors clone from last
Yeah,
year.
that's
This
a good
one I
one too.
prefer. My top two: Ball Pit.
Yes.
Another roguelite. I love this game. I keep playing this game whenever I have a few minutes to spare.
Yeah.
The It's just so nice to be able to alternate between different characters and to chain different power ups. And again, it's another roguelite with with these enemies coming from the top of the screen, and you're at the bottom and you're shooting arrows, or you're shooting projectiles, or you have a sword. It depends on the character that you choose. But it's both like a visual spectacle with all these enemies coming at you, but also
Mm-hmm.
you have to be strategic with the power-ups that you collect, how you fuse them, how you upgrade them, the slots that you decide to allocate to different power-ups. And I play this one on my Steam Deck, on my gaming PC, on the TV with my mini PC now. But my game of the year is Metroid Prime 4.
Of course.
I've been waiting, and not just because I've been waiting for this game for 18 years, or for 20 years since Metroid Prime 3, or 7 years, 8 years actually since the announcement. It's Metroid Prime, and it looks incredible on Switch too.
Mm-hmm.
I love Planet Vuros, the setting, the music. I actually quite like that Samus is not alone. I think those moments with the Galactic Federation Marines, I think they provide a nice change of pace from the usual isolation of Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
I like the new psychic abilities. I just missed being Samus, and
Yep.
Metroid is arguably, along with Zelda and Pokemon, more than Mario, I would say one of my all-time favorite video game franchises. And to be able to have a Metroid Prime again on Switch 2 feels like such a privilege. I think we're fortunate to have this game as it is in this, in this state right now, both on Switch 1 and on Switch 2, being able to play at 4K 60 or 1080p, 120 FPS, rock solid performance, beautiful game, sounds incredible. I think Retro Studios did it again. And, for all the hours that I've played so far, I'm going to finish this game, and it's my game of the year. And I don't think there was any other game that could have grabbed this
Yeah.
spot in 2025 for me.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic pick. And I mean, you think back too, from before it was announced, there was a lot of speculation that Metroid maybe was just done, that Nintendo was finished with Metroid games altogether. And even though it took so long for this game to be developed, in the interim we had all kinds of other little tidbits of Metroid coming out, which has really kind of revitalized it and brought it to a lot of new players, which I think is really nice. I'm looking forward to playing that too. Where are you playing? Are you playing on your TV, on your
Both.
Okay.
Both portable and on my TV, but mostly on my TV because it looks so good.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm heading with it too. All right. Well, so here's my list. I am going to start with an indie game called Sectori that is a very recent addition to my lineup that Brendan Bigley turned us on to. It is a bullet hell kind of game that has a little bit of asteroids to it. It's got this retro feel. It's got like Geometry Wars vibes too. You're on this playing field, and you're a ship, and you're shooting the enemies that come at you. And in a way, it even has a little bit of Vampire Survivors mixed in there as well. And it's very neon, lots of music, and it's very fast paced. And you have to, obviously defend yourself against the enemies. And at the same time, the playing field is changing shape at all times, adding a whole nother dimension to how playing the game works. And I haven't played a ton of it, but it's worth a mention because it's one of those games that's easy to pick up and put down. I'll definitely be returning to that one over and over again over time, and I think it's well worth trying out and playing. The next one I want to cover is Mario Kart World, because this is another game that I played a lot of this year, more so than most of the other games. I, like you, have done. I think I've done the entire Grand Prix. Most of them, I think, at 100. I haven't done much 150cc yet, but it's a great game just to revisit over and over. And I just redid my setup in my office with a mini PC and my Switch 2 connected to a nice 4K OLED monitor. And boy, Mario Kart looks
Mm.
so nice on that. It was the first game I opened up when I connected the Switch, and I was so happy that I got this screen because it looks absolutely stunning. Uh, my next one is going to be Clair Obscur. This is not my game of the year, mainly because I don't feel like I've gotten far enough into it. It was one of those that I did more than scratch the surface, but I've still got a long way to go before I'm finished with this game. But there's something about this game, the combination of the music and the storytelling, the dialogue that is, and the action that just kind of blends absolutely perfectly. And I think that that's why it won so many awards last night, is that it takes what isn't a AAA game, but it's elevated by all of its parts to something that, in fact, is better than most AAA games. And that, I think, as you said, is a good signal and message
Yeah.
to the video game industry that you don't need hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars and 10, 15
Yeah.
years to make a game like GTA or something. You
Yeah.
can do smaller games that people love too. So, number 2 slot for me is Ball Pit.
Okay.
I don't think I'm even very good at Ball Pit, but I love playing Ball Pit. I think it's the kind of game that you can just pick up and enjoy. I'm not total. It's not my number one because I'm not sold on kind of the overworld aspect of the game, where you're kind of taking what you've collected in the roguelike fighting down below and harvesting, crops and things
Mm.
to build out a city. I'm not totally sold on that. I don't find that part of the game nearly as enjoyable as the action, but I do enjoy picking this one up and playing it on a bunch of different platforms because it is an indie game that's a little lighter weight than some of the big games. I can play it on my handhelds. I can play it on my, like the An Thor or on the
Hmm.
Steam Deck, or I can play it on a computer. It's always available. A lot of fun. But my number one game is Donkey Kong Bonanza, because
Wow. Okay.
boy, do I love this game. This is probably one of my all-time favorites. I haven't played it in a while, but I was obsessed with it when it first came out. I stayed up late playing it, and there's this, you know, there's this nice balance, I think, where if you really want to, you can just grind away at this game, collecting all the bananas and leveling yourself up, or you can explore a little bit more and go from level to level. And I just like the balance that was struck there, and it's fun just to like beat that world apart with Donkey Kong. I mean, it's incredibly fun. The fact that there's so many buttons dedicated to nothing but smashing things. I think it's like
Hmm.
3 different buttons for smashing
Yeah.
things. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. So my game of the year is Donkey Kong
Nice.
Bonanza. Yeah.
Well, both Nintendo games. Look at that.
Yeah, well, that it has been a Nintendo year, and especially
Yeah.
until recently, where if you listen to NPC, we're all kind of doing things with mini PCs and working with our Android handhelds a little bit more this time of the year than we were early in the year. But Switch had a lot of the mind share this year, and certainly did for me.
Nice. Well, we did it.
We did it. We got one more episode. We have music coming up next week, and then we're going to take a little bit of a break for the holidays. But thanks for joining us today, and thank you to Sequel for sponsoring this episode. You can find me and Federico over at MacStories.net, And of course, we are online on social media too. Just look for Federico. He's at Viticci. That's Viticci. And I'm at John Voorhees. JOHN VOORHEES. Talk to you next week, Federico.
Ciao, John.